demand, that was an ear perker to the scientific and the media, the scientific community and the media community. So that's why ABC News came in 2005 to do that piece, and it got a lot of attention. It got a lot more attention from researchers. It got a lot of attention from investors. The stock in the company skyrocketed up over $20 a share because that is not a realistic marketing strategy, right? You can't have ABC News come in and run a commercial on your product every day, right? That was a one-time deal that most of the times when news agencies come in and do an investigative piece, they're not looking to promote you and make you a positive spin out of it. They're looking for holes in the story to find some disbelief or disprove it and debunk it. And because, I don't know if you turned on the news lately, whether you're a CNN, Fox News, whoever, there's not very much positive stuff being promoted from our news broadcast stations, right? The way it says is if it bleeds, it reads. People love controversy, they love disaster, they want to see what's going on. And that's what our news is full of. So for this to turn out to be a positive thing was a total winning lottery ticket for this company. Because that stemmed a whole slew of research that some of it, a lot of it's still ongoing. We now have those 14 studies that are published to view. We've now got 5 US patents on the product and 2 international patents. And we've got over a dozen more clinical studies in trial process right now. They're still happening as we speak. You've got the US Navy doing research on Protandim, not on turmeric or not on milk thistle or some piece of it. On the bottle that you see and get from us, that's what they're researching in their labs and on their soldiers right now for some certain things that they're doing. You know, University of Minnesota is doing a type 1 diabetes study and have been for almost 3 years. They were supposed to be done with it, but it was so significant, their findings that was so good, they got more funding and continued the research further. That's a good thing. Okay? We're very excited to see what some more research as it comes out, what they have to say. But in 2008, this company made a very, very big decision because none of this we'd be even talking about if they didn't get out of that retail mess. Because they were losing money and bleeding out day in and day out there because there was no effective way. You cannot wrap this story and this message up into a 60-second commercial. You can't put it into a one-page print or into an online advertisement. This was meant for network marketing because network marketing like this allows this to happen. We get people together and we can tell the story, we can educate people about the facts of what it is. And through that education, we can do a lot with it. So let me just show you how the turnaround happened. In 2008, they did about $3.5 million in total top-line revenue with about $1 million loss in the balance sheet. Okay, they never had a profitable year, not 1 year in retail, because of all the stuff I just told you. In 2009, May 18th of 2009, we launched in the U.S. as a network marketing company, and all retail is done. All those contracts expired, they're over with, they pulled it from the shelves, it's not going back into stores. And here, let me kind of tell you about how that went. As a public company, a few executives and owners of the deal didn't just get to make that decision. A board of directors had to make that decision, and management had to be on board with that. And it was not an easy sales pitch to give to the management of the company. When David Brown, who's a CEO, had the vision for this, and to take that to an old crotchety board of directors and a bunch of investors who were tired of losing money, to pull the plug on everything they've been trying to do and to bring this into network marketing, they were very resistant against that. Because they had the same preconceived opinions of what they thought network marketing was. They didn't want to take Dr. McCord's lifetime research, a very high esteemed biochemist, the grandfather of free radical biology. He teaches doctors what they know about free radical biology. That's who he is. They didn't want to take McCord's lifelong work and taint it and blackball it into network marketing. Does that make sense? Because they didn't understand it. But when David Brown pointed out the fact that the only companies to ever successfully grow globally in the health and wellness space have been network marketing companies. And the only companies to ever reach over $1 billion a year in nutritional sales have been network marketing companies. So there was some raw numbers that made sense to the board, and they made that decision, and that happened, okay? In our first year, the company grew to $11.5 million in revenue and was profitable for the first time. If this didn't happen in 2009, this was over. It was done. This was our last chance, and this is where myself and my business partner came into the picture. In that transitional phase, when the company was then looking for some people to get involved in the network marketing side as the distributors. They were looking for a corporate team to manage it and run it. They were purchasing offices. They were expanding their infrastructure. They had raised about $5.5 million on a stock placement. So they leveraged the stock. The stock plummeted to about between 20 and 25 cents at that time in 2009. And as they were leveraging and lending against it to raise that capital to do this, we had 12 months to make that money back and make this thing profitable, or it was gone. And we did that. The company did that. Everybody collectively that came in with huge risks stacked against them. Not a lot of a fancy resume to show for it. A lot of virtual, theoretical stuff that we were talking about, right? Nothing had happened to show for it yet. So you think it's hard to talk about LifeVantage and ProTandem now and get people to believe you? Try doing it 4 years ago. And people say, well, you're so lucky that you got involved 4 years ago. I mean, you're so blessed to have what you have. And I'll agree with you. There was some luck in that, and I agree that we were blessed. But you wouldn't have said that 4 years ago. Okay? You would have been saying you're crazy, or you're stupid, or you're out of your mind, but not you're lucky. That was not anything we heard in 2009. And then the next year we grew to $38.9 million, and the company was now debt-free. Okay? Profitability happened in year 1. Debt-free happened in year 2. Completely debt-free. Still are debt-free today. Third year, sorry, $126.2 million. And sorry, let me back up. We launched the U.S. in 2009, and the next year we launched Mexico and Japan. And then in our third year, as we grew to $126 million, we brought in Australia for pre-launch. And now, as we wrap up, we just had our third quarter earnings call last week. And our fiscal year ends in June, starts in July. So we have a month and a half left for this fiscal year. And they updated the guidance, what was it, $220 million? I think is what it was. We're a $200 million a year company this year, which this year ends in a month and a half. So from zero to hero real quick, right? Seems like it. And here's what I point out. Oh, now we have Hong Kong in there as well. That just got pre-launched. And we're pre-launching right now the Canadian market. We're trying to get Canada online. They've got one more province to do the registering, the licensing in, and we'll be launching Canada here shortly. So here's what I want to point out. The reason I draw all these numbers out is because from 2009, here we are in 2013, how many companies, and I don't care what industry you're talking about, it can be food and beverage, it can be oil, it can be real estate or insurance or network marketing. How many companies out there do you know of are having this kind of growth in this economy we've seen the last 4 years? Right? I mean, this is just raw facts on the table, you guys. This is happening not because ProTandem got better, not because the science got better. We do have some more science, so I'll say maybe the science did get better because there's more of it. But what changed to cause this was us, was the network marketing side of this, of people telling people about what they know. Okay? And the people that see the health benefits obviously are going to take the product, but there's people that are getting involved with this and sacrificing huge sacrifices to be a part of carving out their financial piece of this. Because there will be a point in time, years down the road, that you'll either look back at this and say, I'm glad that I did what I did, or I wish I would have. And I hope you're saying the former, not the latter. Okay? I hope that people see the opportunity, because in business, everything about making money in business. And this, I've interviewed, I've sat down and consulted with and done presentations with and had conversation with thousands of successful business people in the last 4 years. My business right now, you guys, is over 110,000 people. And I don't know all of them, but I've met with a bunch of them. And every single successful business person that I've ever come across and got to ask, how did you do it? What did you do? How did you get there? The one common thread that they all had was timing. They understood timing. That it wasn't necessarily what they knew that made them the best at what they were doing and making that money. It was that who they knew and when they knew those people that gave them an opportunity at the right place at the right time. That was the common denominator amongst all of them, every single person. So when you can wrap your mind around what this little S-curve really means, and that there's a reason they teach this at business schools all around the country and have for a long, long time, is this Business 101. Right? If this measures time, and this is measuring revenue and growth of a business, every company starts with an idea and has a beginning. And as that is put into motion to become a business, there's an investment that is made. And if this dotted line represents a break-even point, I don't care if you're starting a lawn mowing business or building skyscrapers or building ProTandem, right? Whatever it is, took an investment. And this is typically the first 3 to 5 years of a new company's existence that is spent trying to come out of the red and make it into the black. Follow me so far? You've got to make that money back. And this is unfortunately where 80 to 90% of businesses fail. They don't get there. And this is small business, big business, and everyone in between. Okay? So the chances of failure are obviously significant there. Because they run out of money, they run out of talent, or both. Or something happens, right? Someone shuts them down, somebody outdoes them. Whatever the reason is and the circumstances are that people can't make it there, or businesses can't make it there, there's a lot of those reasons. But if you can get past this point and become profitable and actually making some headway and making money at that point, then once you start to gain enough market share in a country or in a state or in a city, depending on what we're talking about, once you've started to create enough market attention, and what we've seen in consumable product like network marketing companies is when a company can do $50 to $100 million a year consistently for 12 months, that is enough volume circulating in that area, in that market, to start to gain the attention of the people out there. Instead of the company having to find every customer and every distributor to get involved with them, people start looking for that product or that company, right? There was a time when Apple had to spend a lot of money to promote this. Do you think they spend much money advertising for this anymore? There's some. Their websites show it. There's a few commercials every now and then when the new version comes out. But word of mouth took over on that phone, just like it did for a lot of other industry and services out there. And that's what causes this massive momentum shift into a company. This is called critical mass and momentum. Critical mass and momentum is where 80 to 90% of a company's overall growth will happen. Right here to right here. That is the getting it when getting's good, right? Strike when the iron's hot, whatever you want to call it. This is where 80 to 90% of that company's clientele or consumer base will be acquired into that business. And this happened for Amway, this happened for Nu Skin, this happened for Herbalife, this happened for Tupperware. All of those big network marketing companies you know today, where do you think they are? They're here in what's called stability. Very stable, very large, very successful companies, very much at a global presence in dozens and dozens of countries all around the world. And you can go get involved in those companies today and have a lot more assurity that that company's not going to go bankrupt or die off on you in a week or a month or a year. But your potential for growth is limited to about a 2 to 7% growth rate. They'll continue to grow slowly, but they're not going to ever do this again. This can be 1,000% growth rates month over month over month over month. Case in point, Nu Skin International. Ever heard of them? Started out with skincare, now they're into everything. They got every vitamin under the sun that they sell. They started out in 1984. Good year, because I was born then. Okay? Took them 5 years. In 1989, that company was hitting this ballpark range right here in the U.S. They had grown, they had gotten to this size. Took them 5 years to get there. What was going on economically speaking in the late 80s, early 90s? That might be a little bit similar to today. Foreclosures all-time high, job loss and layoffs all-time high, interest rates all-time high, right? Banks weren't lending money, people were losing homes. Sound familiar, right? Same thing was happening here, an economic depression with a company like Nu Skin that had had their roots in long enough to provide not necessarily maybe having the best products out there. I'm sure they got great products. They don't got Protando, but I'm sure the products were good enough. What they were selling and what caused this was a place for people to make money. Was a place for people to supplement or replace the income that traditional corporate America had stomped all over people. You follow me? So people were coming to that business to make money and representing good products that could carry them forward. Okay? And that company went from $50 million a year in '89. In 1991, they did over $550 million. Okay? 5 years to do $50 million, 18 months to 24 months to do a $500 million increase. That is what we talk about momentum. I know personally a few individuals in Phoenix who got involved right here with that company. And you want to go see how rock stars live, go to their palaces they live in out in Scottsdale. They make $500,000 to $600,000 a month in those companies, you guys. And they didn't do that because they were a better salesperson or because they were a better network marketer than the guy or gal down the street working a different opportunity. It's because they were at the right place at the right time and they got caught up in this. And this is why I left the fire department. because I understand timing and I understand what we have in front of us. This is a vehicle that can change your financial life and the life of your kids, your grandkids, and who knows how far. Amway's paying inheritance to third-generation family members now. They've created more, the network marketing industry, you guys, believe it or not, all the companies within it, has created more independent millionaires than any other industry out there. More than Hollywood, more than professional sports, more than oil, more than pharma. Those businesses that make billions of dollars out there are funneling all that money to a few. There's a few people. If everyone's worried about a pyramid scheme, go back and work for your boss. Because you're not making more money than he or she does, right? And if you're running a company, you know what it's like to make the money, but you also know what it's like to be responsible and in charge for everything. I watched my dad run his construction company for the last 20 years, and he's no further ahead today than he was 10 years ago. He's just chasing his tail, chasing employees around, watching them break stuff, having to pay for stuff that he's got to fix for free. And it's just, if you're in small business in today's world, it's very, very, very difficult. You got to be very tenacious and got to have a lot of wherewithal to push through it. What I love about network marketing, you guys, what I love about LifeVantage is I don't have to own a storefront. I don't have to employ anybody. And I'm looking to employ people for tax reasons, but we don't have to. We don't have to employ anybody. We don't have any overhead. I don't have any machines that cost me money. I don't have to manufacture or make anything. I don't have to distribute anything. I don't have to handle any paperwork. I don't have to create a website. I don't have to balance books and pay insurance and do all that stuff that traditional small businesses have to do. All I have to do is what you're seeing right now. I tell people what we know. They go to the website and either participate or they don't participate. The ones that do, the company, LifeVantage, takes care of them, takes care of the charging of the money, shipping their product, and I get paid. You get paid for doing the same thing. And I don't have to touch a single shred of paper. All I do is talk to people and we show them what we got. And when you can create another you, when you can find another distributor that does what you do, then you've just doubled the output of what can occur in your business, right? And you create 10 of you, or 100 of you, or 100,000 of you. How big of a network can you create before we hit this momentum curve? Because whoever has their nets out is going to catch all the fish right here. Because it's not going to just fall in your lap because you're signed up. Just because you got your name in the system doesn't mean that people are just going to be flocking to you. You've got to be known. You've got to get your arms out there to catch them, right? So when me and Blue looked at this and said, we understand the risk that's associated with this. We're risking $630. Let me kind of show you how this works. $630 to do this business. If you just want to be a customer of the product, go to the website of whoever invited you here and buy product. There's no strings attached. That's it. You buy product just like buying a plane ticket or buying a pair of shoes or whatever. So if you want to become a customer, we call those PCs. Preferred customers set themselves up on a monthly order of product and they actually get wholesale pricing just like a distributor. So for Pro Tandem, that would be $40 a bottle. For True Science or anti-aging skincare cream, that would be $70 a bottle. And for Canine Health, it's $25 a bottle. That's what we pay as distributors when we buy it. Customers can get the same wholesale pricing if they get set up in what's called a monthly auto ship. We just abbreviate auto ship there. So preferred customers get on auto ship. They can have wholesale pricing. If they want to do what's called spot orders and just order here and order there and not get set up on auto ship, then you pay 25% more and you pay that retail price. So most people want to get a discount, so they get set up as a preferred customer on auto ship. If they want to cancel their order and quit the deal at any time, there's no restocking fees or cancellation fees or any contract that you got to worry to squiggle out of. It's a month-to-month auto ship system. You can actually go on your computer and cancel it right there on the website or call customer service and do it over the phone. So that's how it works for customers. Now, let's talk about being distributors. If you're starting your business with LifeVantage, you would come in at what's called a Vantage Pack, and that costs you $630 plus tax and shipping. Okay, so it might be about $650, $680, whatever it is by the time it gets to your door. But $630 is what you're buying into the Vantage Pack, and what you're actually getting first in that kit is $535 of product. So $95 is actually marketing materials and training materials to help you get your business started. So this is product, and this is tools and training materials, okay? So this $535 portion is what you can make money on, because that's the product. We don't make money on selling tools. We don't make money on recruiting people. We make money for selling a product. And in this Vantage Pack, $535 worth of that being product, if you believe in the products you're representing and going to take them every day, then that's not a risk. Because even if the business was a complete flop and you didn't do anything with it, never made a red cent doing this, you've got some product that'll last you for a few months. And so you're not really risking that if you believe in the product, right? You're only risking this, the marketing materials. That's the money you can't get back, right? Because this you're getting back even if you didn't do anything with it, you're taking it. But here's the number right here. $630 is how much you've invested. The first goal of any business investment is to get your ROI, right? Making your money back is very, very important. And making a profit is very, very important. Because if you're not doing that, then you're more involved with what I would call a hobby, not a business. If you treat this like a hobby and don't go out and make money, most hobbies cost you money. And that's what will happen. So if you treat it like a business, we go out and get this thing started. Yes, you're going to be looking for customers that just want to have the product. You don't have to try very hard to find them. You show them the information, and then common sense should kick in from there. They're going to say, I want that, or they don't, right? What I would suggest, and getting into a little bit of the strategy and training on this, but is you go look for these people who want to be distributors, you show them the investment opportunity of what this is, the system of how we do that I'm not going to get into right now. The master track and the blueprint of how we do this is very step-by-step and spelled out so anybody can do this. You're not by yourself. You have a support system and a team of people and the company supporting you in your efforts to do that. But if you're looking for distributors, they're going to get to see and hear, like you guys are here tonight, the whole spiel. And if they're not interested in a business, if they don't want to do this, I promise you they won't. Okay? If they don't need what this business is going to give them or want to have that, they're not going to come in at this. But in that presentation, they got to hear all about the products, and I guarantee you most of them will still be interested in being a customer. So you'll find customers just by default of those who don't want to do the business. You don't really have to go look for them. But when you're looking for distributors to do this with you, here's how quickly you can make your money back. The first 3 Vantage Pack distributors that you enroll, you personally bring in 3 distributors underneath you at this level, you're going to make $210 on each one of those enrollments. So who's the math whiz in here? What does that equal? You've just made your money back. So the saying goes, enroll 3, you're in for free. You bring in your first 3 distributors, your investment's now recouped. And then after that, once you've enrolled your 4th and every person beyond that, it goes up by $50 to $260. So you actually get a raise. We recognize you as a leader. You're bringing in more than just the minimum. You're now adding more to the team. You get an increase on those commissions up front. Now, so $260 on everyone after that. That's fine and dandy. Now, if you're not bringing in distributors at this Vantage Pack, which is equating to this, if you're just bringing in preferred customers, then you make a 30% commission on whatever those customers buy. They buy this or that or this or all 3 or a combination of whatever. You make a 30% commission on what your customers buy right away. That's paid out weekly. So they ordered this week, you get that check in your mail or direct deposit next week. So anyone who's ever worked commission sales in here will attest that that's a pretty fair percentage to earn in commission sales, right? So customers you make 30% on, easy enough. Distributors, it goes like this, $210 on your first 3, $260 on every single one after that. Now this isn't the big money. This isn't why I got involved in the industry. I got involved in the industry to get my time back so I could have a life with my family and quit trading time for dollars. I was interested in making awesome residual income. I mean, a little bit of residual income is better than none. I mean, how many people in here make some residual money out there somehow? Real estate, insurance, an invention, a book, a song, network marketing. There's very few people out there that have any residual income coming in. And that should scare you a little bit. It scared me. Because if I couldn't go put those hours in at work anymore, God forbid something happened to me, what's going to happen to my family? That money stops coming in, right? If you got life insurance or some disability insurance, that's great, but if you really want to live on that, right? I mean, it might get you by, maybe, maybe not. So for me, residual income was an insurance policy to my family's financial existence as well. So I came into this business to make awesome residual money. And this part of the compensation structure, this part right here, being the beginning of how you make money, is absolutely the most important side of our entire compensation system. Because this is a very lucrative front-end system. Go compare it to all the other comp plans that are out there, and you'll come back and say, LifeVantage has a comp plan that you can't find anyone to beat. It just doesn't exist. I've tried. I'm a student of compensation plans. I will dig into any company's comp plan and figure it out, because I want to know how the money's made. And I can tell you, just from my own due diligence, you will not find a better comp plan. This company designed it that way. We want to be a leader in our products. We also want to be a leader in how we reward and compensate our distributors and set the standard, not just fall into the average, but reestablish the bar and set the standard for the industry of how this is done. So when you understand how important this is, because if people cannot get this, their return on investment, if they cannot do that in a quick manner of time and be out of the red and into the black in their own personal distributorship, if they can't do that within 60 to 90 days, most people are sayonara, kiss them goodbye. They will go back to doing whatever it was they did in life to try to make money, and they will give up on their network marketing dream if they do not recover their investment quickly. So this is very, very, very crucial and important that people can simply go get their business started. Go talk to 10 or 15 people, get them in front of a meeting like this. You will find 3 or 4 of them that are interested to do this with you. They may need to get their circumstances and priorities in order where they can afford to do this or what have you, but you will find people who want to make money and who want to be a part of this company and this product. So this is very, very important. But let me just kind of articulate real quick how the residual side of this starts to work. Because like I said, that's the big picture of why we're doing this, to make that long-lasting residual money. As you become a business, whether you're incorporated or a sole proprietor, you get paid on 9 levels of business. This is where it becomes multi-level marketing. The levels of organization that create underneath you is your business that you get to make a percentage or an override in commission on all of the orders that happen below you. So not just the people that you signed up and brought to the table, but if you brought in distributors, what are they out doing? The same thing, right? They're out looking for customers and distributors just like you. So you've leveraged the system by putting more people to work for your benefit. The saying goes, it's much smarter to have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of your own. You can actually get some rest, right? And you can make money while you sleep. So as you bring in people, and we've got to draw some circles or it would be a network marketing meeting. Let's just talk about 5. Let's set the goal for 5 distributors that you're looking for. As these 5 people that you bring into the business come into your what we call your first level, your front line, these people right here, you make a 2% commission on whatever they buy every single month. That's what level 1 commission is 2%. Level 2 commission is 5%. And level 3 commission is 9%. And then levels 4 through 8 are all 5%. And then level 9 is 2%. So if you add up all of that right there, all 9 of those payouts, that's a 43% amount of money that the company is paying back just into what we call our royalty bonus every single month. Every time an auto ship order happens, month after month after month, every single time that happens, 43% of it is paid out to 9 different people. That's how it works. Okay? And I don't want to confuse you on the mechanics of how this works, but just understand the dynamics of how it works. Because, and just for teaching purposes, let's do some math on this. These 5 people, if they're distributors that are remaining qualified to earn commissions, they need to satisfy a $200 a month minimum personal volume requirement, which means they either need to buy $200 worth of product every month or buy at least $40, and the $160 difference can come from preferred customers. Okay? Sometimes people don't need $200 a month in their household because it's just them. My household, there's 5 of us. We need $200 a month, so I just order it every month. And this is my overhead. Without doing that, you're not qualified to earn commissions on that month. It's all calculated month to month. So either you buy it on your own, or it's a combination of your purchasing plus your preferred customers purchasing to equal that sum or that number. But if these are distributors that we count as $200 each, what's 5 times 200? 1,000, right? And what's 2% of $1,000 in sales? 20 bucks, right? So you make $20 on that level. Well, now you're making some residual money, but it ain't enough to retire. So that's why the power of this is in duplication. Well, you and your upline, working with these 5 people, are going to go help these guys do the same thing. Guys and gals, I say guys like folks, don't take it personal. 25 people, right? That's our goal. Let's get these 5 to get their 5, who are doing 200 each, which is now $5,000 in sales. 5% commission of $5,000 is 250 bucks that you're making on that level. So now you're making $270 a month residually. It's coming in every single month. And it's key that we build into this 3rd level with your teams, because that's where the big percentage comes in. You and your 5 people are helping these 25 do the presentations, get the people signed up. Let's shoot for 125 people in that level. $200 each is $25,000 in sales. 9% commission on that is $2,250. $2,200 right there. I'm not going to go through all 9 levels. It's stupid money if you go any further. But I'm just going to show you this piece right here, because that's $2,500 a month coming into a household that didn't have that $2,500 a month prior. That's $30,000 a year coming in residually. And that, I think, starts to make a big difference for most people out there. And if it isn't enough money, then let's talk about the next level. And if that's not enough money, let's talk about the next level. Doesn't matter if you want to make millions or a few hundred or somewhere in between. There is room to grow in this for a long, long time. You can, and what's crazy about this is, let's say you sign up 5 people that you know right here in Orlando. Do you think those 5 people might know people somewhere else? Maybe New York, maybe Phoenix, maybe LA, maybe down wherever, right? All over the country, people know people. Do you think it's going to stay here in the United States if you wanted it to? No. It's going to end up in Japan, it's going to end up in Australia, it's going to end up in Hong Kong, Mexico, Canada, and every other country that we open in the next coming years. Your organization that stems out from these individuals that you knew and enrolled and brought to this deal, you have no control over where that's going to take your business around the world. And that's how those people in New Skin that I got to know, Mark and those guys, that's how they made stupid money like that. Because they built in their backyards, and they did it correctly, and it mushroom cloud. It just blew up all over the planet. When the company went to a new market, somebody down in their group, somebody down here in the group, said, I want to go be a part of Japan. And they have a huge Japanese piece of their business popping right there. And all of a sudden they got a $50,000 raise for the month. Because there's all this volume that just came into their business. Does that make sense? When you build this correctly and you establish leadership, it will grow in your absence. You can literally check out and retire, and you will continue to make more money. How cool is that? And it's with a product that is not some flimsy, I'm going to try it for 90 days and quit. I mean, all these weight loss companies out there, I'm sure they're making money because people want to lose weight, but they have massive, massive attrition. Every 90 days, they're starting over with a new group of people, because how many people stick with a weight loss program more than 90 days? Maybe a few, but 90+% of them won't, right? So for me, I wasn't looking at creating an organization that I had to go recreate every 90 days or every 6 months or every year. I wanted to build something once and enjoy the fruits of that labor for the rest of my life. Because when you go around and do what I do now, and I get to hear from people who have been taking Protandim and using True Science and giving canine health to their animals, when you get to meet with people who have been experiencing these products, and they come up and give you this big old power hug with tears in their eyes saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for doing your part to get this to me back 4 years ago and whatever. There's a system of how all this came together, and they want to come thank you, and they're telling me, I will take this product for the rest of my life because XYZ, they tell me their story. Here's what it's done. And guys, that's awesome to be able to help people like that. It is. I mean, it's just as rewarding as what we got to do at the fire department, to be able to give somebody that better health, or be a part of that process. But selfishly looking at it, that is a golden business. I mean, what business owner would not want to hear from their clients or their customers, I will come back and buy from you every single month for the rest of my life? That is a rock solid financial situation you put yourself in. So this continues to grow and be very, very lucrative. And in addition to this, as your people start to make money through the same way, you will then start to match their income 10%. So you have a vested interest in helping your people make as much money as you can help them possibly make. Because the more they make, the more you're matching. 10% from the people that you brought in. And it doesn't stop there. Generationally speaking, so the people that they've brought in and the people